Oh. Holy crap, guys. Am I in the garage right now? Is this real life? Do I have free time? Free time? What? Boy, howdy. Finally. Welcome back to the jam. The jam. Welcome back to the jam chop shop, y'all. I'm already not talking very well. Jeez. What up, though? It's been like, I don't know, 2 months since I managed to get out in the garage, make an episode, achieve literally anything between being sick and the transmission and the toe pick going down and spending all the money to fix that, and amongst other things. I've either been dying, stressed out, or broke. Typical adult things. Anyway, we have parts. I'm waiting today. I'm supposed to have the rest of the parts in. But what we has is we got our little spacer for the Tremec TKX. I did do some research. It seems like about 99% of people are saying that you do need this spacer. Even though the transmission bolts up to the bell housing, the snout for the transmission goes in, I think it's like a 1/4 inch too far for the crank. So you have to space out that transmission 1/4 inch. So we got that. Boom. Also, I'm waiting for the rest of this to show up. This is the Outcast AutoWorks 4-link suspension. See, I got all the bushings here. Dude, this is really nice stuff here, guys. This is really, really nice stuff. The brackets are supposedly going to be here later today. So we got the 4-link, the painted bar bracket, or the painted bar is in there somewhere as well too. I'm not going to dig it out, but and then we've got. Sorry if there's crap all over. I did make it out here a couple days. Start porting this other head, getting it done. But then we got the brackets for the painted bar. All of the hardware. And that, my friends, is what we're conquering today. We're gonna do a real quick run through of Sandy, because in my absence I've actually gained 100 subs. So I'm going to give you a real quick rundown of the truck, try not to ramble too long. Then we're gonna get to work. We're gonna get that 4-link installed, painted bar installed, yank out the engine and transmission, get that spacer installed, and then I can finally tilt the engine up, bolt in the cross member for the transmission that I modified. Very likely have to redo, because I'm bound and determined I'm going to use my Z-bar setup. And I came out here just wanting to stay busy one day and ended up like welding and bolting all this in, forgetting that I needed to tilt the tail of the transmission up like an inch or two. So I'm probably going to get to cut all that out and start over. So, sweet. Anyways, oh, also, I'm not using it right now. I should be using it. I have a wireless fucking microphone. Since all you guys keep going, you need a microphone, you echo, Anyway, microphone. I got a tripod. We got new toolboxes. We got, oh, what else I got? I don't have the fluid for it yet. I also got a parts cleaner. Parts cleaner, new toolboxes. I got a new tool creeper. We got 4-link. We got painted bar. We got all of the stuff to stay busy in here. So without further ado, let's get a rundown on Sandy, my 78 F100, and then we're gonna get to work. Okay, so I lied to you about the microphone. I have it. Threw the box away. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. Anyways, quick rundown on Sandy, and then we're just gonna get to work. For the 100+ people who have joined since the last video I made, really. What's up? Thanks for joining. But this is Sandy, my 78 F100, single cab, long bed, 2-wheel drive, and she is a retired St. Joe County maintenance truck out of South Bend, Indiana. In fact, when I brought it home, you could still see the logo on the door. Basically, I pulled it out of someone's side yard for $1,000. I don't know, 6+ years ago. Slapped some fake white walls on it, painted the steelies, Put some 2 1/4 inch true duals with some glass packs on it. And I basically drove the truck for, I don't know, 2+ years like that. It was pretty much my daily. I mean, it moved us from Indiana to Michigan. I made, hour-long road trips all the time. I took it to and from work all the time. And basically, it was leaking a little bit of oil, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to freshen up this engine. Boom, exploded into a project, as they always do. So that was stage 1. Stage 2 of Sandy, she got fresh floorboards. She got a DJM drop beam kit, so I had the drop beams in the front with the Explorer springs, and the back flip kit, shackles, hangers, all DJM. A small frame notch that has since been redone, not quite done yet. But and then it got a donor boat motor that I relentlessly abused. I literally pulled it out of my cousin's backyard, complete whole marine OMC 175 engine. Slapped some eBay shorty headers on it, a comp 268H cam, and this Ford Racing dual plane intake manifold, a Holly 600, and relentlessly abused it. We used the original 3-speed transmission with the Hirsch shifter and just enjoyed the hell out of the truck for about a season. Until that boat motor let go. At which point in time got us here, which is now the 3rd rendition of Sandy. And at this point in time, we're reusing the original Dana 44 rear end. It's got a mini spool in it. Brakes are all fresh. Redoing the frame notch. We're gonna mostly box and speed hold the frame. We got our Tremec TKX transmission. We got our ignition system hiding up underneath the dash there. We've done I wonder if I went 2.5 or 2 1/4 on the frame Z, which I still kind of need to finish, that you're really not going to be able to see. Obviously, we've got the 03 and up Crown Vic swap. We have airbags up front. We managed to make our sway bar work. This is, sorry I'm going so fast, but I'm just trying to get to work and catch everyone up who hasn't been here previously. Her original 302 40 over custom motor mounts. Again, the TKX there. We're kind of polishing everything. So I polished the timing cover. I polished the tonal ram. Still got to attack the carbs. I do have the fender well exit headers that I have to weld up and probably dramatically modify for the passenger side because they're not actually made for this truck. But we'll be 40 over with hyper-eutectic flat tops, just some sealed power pistons, flat tops, mal cleovite rings. I did have the machine shop do some ARP studs in there. Got the Howards, Rattler cam, the Flowtech 185cc aluminum heads of 202 160 valves that I have gasket matched, ported and polished just the best I can, being the nobody that I am. And I think that's gonna about catch us up on the build. We gotta do the 4-link in the rear, we gotta bag the rear, whole fuel system, air management system, rewire the truck, and some basic maintenance stuff, and I'm hoping to drive this damn thing this year. But without further ado, guys, I'm going to rip off this front end, pull this engine out, and get the spacer in here, and we're just going to get to work, because I've been talking for probably like 45 minutes now, so. guess first things first, guys. Let's get this front end out of the Z-way. And we'll get this engine yanked out of here real quick. Get that spacer bolt in. Continue scratching the shit out of my door like I have been for the last year. And start making some progress. Don't remember how I normally pick this up. Because the truck's in the air. Boop, boop. Got my this. Put it up. Alright, fellas. Let's get this thing out of here. I'll probably have to jump onto the truck because the crossmember is in it. So I'm going to have to push it over the hump for the bracket there. Drag it up a little bit, let the Z-bar fall out. Maybe. Wow, real quick guys, so obviously you got the engine and transmission hanging down there. And if you haven't tuned into previous episodes, the way that I made the factory crossmember work is I literally just took some angle iron, put some gussets in it, drilled some holes in the side because when this thing lays on the ground, the downward bolt that goes through the frame and bolts this in hits the ground because the frame lays on the ground. So the transmission needed to come up. So what I did, like I said, is I just made these brackets that moves the transmission up, and then our bolts are going to go sideways to the side of the frame instead of the bottom of it. So I mean, it was like a quick little, I don't know, $20 fix instead of the couple $100 brackets they all make that I totally didn't end up needing. Same thing with the motor mounts, I made those for cheap. And I probably should have put a bolt in my chain because we've got one hell of an angle on the dangle here. Big deal. Wow, so this is going to be real quick and easy, a lot of effort for the little bit that I got to do here. I'm hoping these bolts are still going to be long enough. And we're still obviously very much in the mock-up stage here, so if you've got some shit to say, go ahead and say it. I don't care anyway. Boop. Then this guy just goes, bear with me, because I don't fucking know. That goes just like that. It's easy. Boom. Boom. So that's our little spacer installed. Again, we're gonna have to get some longer bolts because these things have like maybe three threads, so they're not gonna quite cut it. But again, we're in the mock-up stages here, so this is all gonna get blown apart probably 10 more times before final assembly. Just trying to get everything in there. But at this point in time, I can stab the engine transmission back in there, throw my crossmember in, level the engine, which is hopefully going to give me clearance for my tunnel ram because it totally hits this ridge right here on the firewall with the little droop that it had. And then we will see if I have to cut out the little modified bracket that I made for my Z-bar. So, yeah, when you come back, that's going to be stabbed back in there. I'll probably be bolting this transmission crossmember in because this is kind of boring stuff. And if you've been around for a while, you've seen me kind of dick around with it for a time or two. So when I'm trying to record progress here is what I'm saying, instead of making you guys watch the same shit over and over again. So she's sitting in there, y'all, and kind of just, obviously with the heads on there, the intake would fit. I would be able to line it up a lot better, but I'm basically just using where the distributor would go to center this thing. But you can see That's not gonna fly. I don't know that I'm going to acquire that much clearance by tilting the engine up a little bit. It does need to be tilted up anyways. I'm not opposed to trimming that lip off right there, but I had the truck, I keep air quoting stuff, level-ish. Very likely I'm going to be driving around with the front end of the truck higher than the rear. I would love to be driving low all the time, but with the Crown Vic suspension being wider than the factory F100, as well as the wheel and tire package I'm running, I'm going to have to be aired like completely up to have turn radius. But I will very likely be driving around with my rear end lower. So I'm trying to take that into consideration while setting the engine. But it's going to be a rear sump anyways, so I'm not really worried about starving this thing for oil. Really just kind of concerned about cool factor and trying to clear this up a little bit. But when we come back, I'll have figured that out, bolted my transmission in, and probably move on to being annoyed about the Z-bar. Y'all. Clear is clear, right? And again, the heads aren't here, so that's not completely lined up, but I will take that. I might even be able to wiggle just a smidgen forward. We are touching right here. I'm not opposed to trimming out that little bit, and despite how riggedy and rough around the edges the truck is, I really didn't want to have to trim that out if I don't have to. Again, I will. It is what it is. But let's see, can you even get in there? We're not quite clearing that bolt for the rear bowl. Again, without the heads and stuff on, I'm kind of just, we can get a general idea of where the intake manifold's gonna sit. Not an exact one, but engine is in. We might even be able to just scoot this whole engine forward now because I just bolted the transmission to cross member in. Didn't think about that, did you? Damn it. Anyway, let's crawl under here and check this cross member out real quick. Ooh, me being who I am, cheap and simple, that's how I kept this whole setup. Again, the factory cross member, and we had these offset to the passenger side. I think it's like 3 inches or something like that, and I kept everything like that. But again, on a previous episode, took some angle iron, gusseted them band boys up, just bolted with a cross member, and then all I did was go sideways instead of through the bottom of the frame, because this touches when I air out. So eventually I ended up scraping that fucking head off, and that's not cool. So probably ought to swap out to some grade 8 hardware. These are just some random nuts and bolts I had laying around. But as you can see, everything worked out pretty nice. So factory cross member, factory bushing bracket. I did also think that this transmission used the yoke for the original drive shaft, and I'm gonna have to do some trimming, get this out of the way. Probably gonna have to notch the cross member for the cab mount, as well as do some repair maybe. I don't know, but this is definitely not gonna work when I air out, so we'll have to notch that and strengthen that back up a little bit. But yeah, here is our cross member. So that's our engine and transmission in officially air quotes, out of the air quotes. Also, I think, oh no, ooh, look how much that raised. I was thinking it was gonna push the ball or the pivot this way. It did not. It looks like we are still in line side to side, but we are now way uneven. So I wonder with it sitting like that if I can just, so this is the original Z-bar bracket that I flipped upside down, took some 1x1 welded nuts on the inside of it, and it lines me back up perfect. Again, I put the cart before the horse here because I also modified the Z-bar, basically added this whole piece right here and re-drilled the hole. Totally forgot that I had to jack the transmission up and get that spacer in. So this is gonna be our next obstacle to re-tackle. I mean, if I wanted to be super douchebag about it, I could probably just put some washers in here, but that's even too half-assery for me. Man, I wonder, I'm gonna see if I can just flip this thing right side up and see how she looks. Bad news and good news, I guess. Obviously, I had to cut that out because everything moved. But I think I'm gonna get away with just using, these are kind of mangled and stuff after drilling them and cutting them out and everything. But basically just moving this down and using the same 1-inch spacers that I used on the top, on the bottom. So I got a half-ass clamp kind of trying to help me while I hold the camera here, but I mean, see, I got them bad boys in there. And let's see if I can get this scooted back. Anyway, I need more hands. There we go. Dude, I think just doing some 1-inch little spacers in there. I don't know if I'm gonna weld or bolt everything in there yet, but pretty sure that's gonna work, friends. And then looks like I'm gonna have to redo what I already redid for the, what do you want to call that, the swing arm or the bracket for the Z-bar, which is kind of annoying, but you know, it is what it is. I guess one perk being snowy out here, we can cool this down pretty quick. Maybe. Steaming, boy. Still hot AF. Yeah, water works way better than snow. This sucks. I ain't that mad at it, guys. Like I said, I ended up just using those 1-inch spacers that I had originally, well, I cut them longer, so they run all the way and butt up to the frame. Probably have some trimming and some finagling to do yet. You can see it sits a little bit at an angle, but I'm not necessarily that mad at it. And you can see, she pivot just fine. So I got to drill the hole in the backside here. I'm kind of just getting stuff mocked up and seeing if it was going to work the way that I wanted it to. And just like I thought, you guys could really see, not really. I'm not anywhere near the shaft anymore, so I'm going to have to probably extend and maybe gusset or brace this up a little bit since it's going to be longer. Not necessarily a big deal. I mean, again, it is what it is, man. When you Z-frame and Vic swap and bag and Tremec swap and tunnel ram, and I mean, shit just happens. Shit happens. But when we come back, I've taken a chunk out of my finger. Actually, 2 chunks out of this finger. I've hurt myself a lot since I've been out here in this short period of time. And I have to work tomorrow. So I think I'm going to call it quits for today. Get back out here tomorrow after work, slightly less wounded and irritated and annoyed. Next day, guys, and it is mail time.
Here's the it never, it makes me want to wag my when it comes I want to
Finally, after like 2 months of waiting, I finally have all my Outcast stuff. It's all finally here. I'm gonna get this all laid out real quick. Let you guys check it out. In fact, I haven't even seen it all myself, so we're gonna chime back in here in just a second and have all the stuff laid out. You guys ready? I'm pretty excited. In fact, I have a throbbing headache that is preventing me from working on the truck at all. But I was excited and I needed to come check this out because, like I said, I've been waiting about 2 months for this stuff, and worth the wait. It's worth the wait. Look at the beautiful welds. I mean, everything is nice and precision cut. Got all the adjustable rod ends. You got your bushings, your grease certs, time joints, all the hardware. The only thing I don't have laying out here, in fact, I think it's probably just, yeah, there's another bag of hardware right there, but actually here's our fronts, Here's our rears. Axle's gonna go in right there. Sandwich that boy in there. Burn that shit in. I'm pretty excited about that. That's what we're conquering next. In this episode. It's not going anywhere. I do want to finish the Z-bar right here. My only concern with the Z-bar is that elongating it is gonna maybe not make it pivot as much, because at least in my mind, the hole being inward is going to pivot it more, and the hole being outward is going to make it pivot less. And we are a good probably inch or two away from grabbing this thing, so I'm curious of if it's gonna pivot enough to make the clutch disengage, which we unfortunately probably won't know until the clutch is in it. So yeah, so we gotta finish trying to make that work. We're gonna jump on to making all this mess happen. Oh, alright guys, so it's, I don't know, a week or two later now at this point in time. Obviously, got the bed up the truck, forgot to record it. Boring anyways. But getting ready to start tackling this 4-link here. And bear with me, because this will be my first 4-link. And first thing I'm noticing is that the purchase for the leaf springs are gonna have to get out of my way, because obviously the 4-link is gonna go right there-ish. Gonna put my bars right here in line ish with about where the factory leaf springs would have been. So let's go ahead and get that cut out of the way. And I got the front jacked up with stands under it about what my ride height is. Have some potential big news coming for the front suspension. I'm actually really excited about, but I'm not going to put the cart before the horse here. But in order to have turn radius, I have to be all the way up. So that's obviously my front ride driving height. Me being me, I'm probably going to ride around with the back down a little bit. So once we get those perches cut off, that's probably how I'm going to set the truck, is with it sitting back just a little. And we'll get the axle up in there, get her centered, start pulling some measurements, and figure out how this is all going to go together. Yeah, buddy. What you think, Mouse? We're making progress, huh? Boom. So got both sets of the leaf spring perches off, and actually managed to not cut my brake lines. I don't know if they're going to survive or not, but my cousin Eric had previously done a really good job on these. So I was kind of trying to not have to redo them again. But so I'm going to grind these down, make sure everything's all clean. So when I get this thing all measured and squared up in here, hopefully get some tacks on it, figure out whereabouts these bad boys are going to sit. And yeah, guys, we're just going to keep on trying to make some progress here while the day is still young. You guys know what would make a lot more sense other than trying to not cut these brake lines? Gee, I don't know. Maybe, just take them out of the way. Jeez. So bear with my dumb hillbilly ass here, but I do believe I'm as plumb level square as I'm about to get this. So from my frame to the inside of the backing plate here, I'm 11 inches on both sides. The axle is level, and the transmission I know angles down. I don't know the exact angle, so I have my opinion of the axle facing up a little bit. Again, these are all adjustable. In fact, quite a bit. See, this guy's buried all the way in, and this one's all the way out. So I have that much adjustment, and you can basically double it because each bar is adjustable. So I'm just kind of trying to get my opinion in the ballpark here, and also even if we're a little bit, I'm gonna pull measurements, and it might be a bit of an optical illusion, but I have pulled measurement after measurement after measurement to make sure that this axle is straight. I don't know. But again, you know, nothing on this truck is perfect. So I did notice this notch appears to be about, I think, like an 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch, like tighter than this side. So that's going to throw off my measurement a little bit. But again, we can adjust the axle both this way and this way once everything's all bolted and welded in. I'm just trying to get as close as I can, but at this point I need to get these bushings in the end here and figure out about how I'm going to lay this out. Again, I've never done this before, so bear with me as I don't necessarily give you like any tips or tricks, because I don't fucking have any. So like I said, the rear end of the truck, I'm sorry I keep using my hands as levels and angles and stuff, but you know, so I got the back of the truck down a little bit because that's probably the way I'm going to drive it. The frame's level side to side, axle's level side to side, pinion angle's up a little bit because the transmission's down. I think I'm good to like mock up this 4-link, maybe throw a tack on it, and I need to do some Googling, some researching, because again, not to use my arms as units of measurement here, but I think is it your top bar is supposed to be parallel, and then your bottom bar is supposed to be up a little bit. I don't fucking know. I'm a stupid drunk hillbilly, so bear with me. We'll be back when I figure out math and stuff. Okay, guys, again, kind of just learning as we go. Thus far, basically, what I ended up doing, I was trying to, I don't know what I was trying to do. I was basically wasting a bunch of time denying the fact that I was going to have to do something that I for sure have to do. So I smoked probably like 4 drill bits because I was having to drill not only through the frame but through my cross member, thinking I was going to be fine. I didn't really... Okay, bear with me. I'm very annoyed with myself, so just hold on. So first, obviously, I got everything kind of mocked up. Nothing's welded, nothing's tagged, no nothing. I basically found like a halfway point on the ends here. So I think I threaded them out 12 half rotations. I think I counted 30 all the way out, so I'm basically halfway out. I think it's going to give me plenty of adjustability, but that's my beginning point where I'm starting all this. And then once this is all in here, it kind of, you know, tells you where it needs to be, because you're not going to get too much back and forth or pivoting until you do it yourself. But I ended up drilling these 2 holes, and I basically just went just below the frame to give me the most ground clearance as I can, because until I have my wheels and everything on here, I don't know exactly where I'm going to be at. So I wanted to give myself as much ground clearance as I could. So I literally just went just below the curve of the frame here in front and back. The issue is this cross member, it's a lot of metal to drill through. It puts you right over a rivet right here that I kind of cut in half. My intention was to either weld it or I don't know. Again, we're kind of just brainstorming and mocking this up. But then obviously I got to looking, and I'm not aired out. You know, this is basically my ride height. And you see my drive shaft is going to be, I already had to notch the cross member there for as low as the truck was in the first place. And we're going to drop down a lot yet. So this cross member is going to have to come out. So basically I wasted a bunch of drill bits and time drilling through this when it needs to get out of here in the first place. In fact, I'm probably going to go ahead and weld up a brace somewhere. I'm pretty sure I have enough metal. I got some scraps. I can get a half-ass brace in here for now. Well, that wasn't god-awful. Also kind of glad I did it, because, I mean, as you can guess, some of the warpage is actually from rust. So that's super cool. And I have a thin spot right there. So awesome. So this just turned on into a bit more of a project. God damn, look at all that shit in there. So I've got a hell of a mess to clean up now. And, well, how do I want to tackle this? Because I don't really want to leave that hole there. I also don't want to cut a gigantic section out of my frame. Well, we'll be back when I figure this out, guys. Wow, that fits way more good without that right there, without that in the way. And I think the easiest plan of attack over there, I probably will do some grinding. I don't even know if it's going to be something I attack on this episode. Obviously, want to clean all this mess out of here. Maybe I'll just weld just a small washer, or in fact, I even think I have a thick washer right here. Boom. Maybe something like that guy or something in there. But I think because this did rust and swell a little bit here, again, not on this episode, I don't even have the metal to do it. I think maybe I'll use these brackets as a template and go ahead and do like a backing plate back here and burn that all the way in. So do some like rust converter, burn it in, paint everything. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. I think that's going to be the least half-assed method of doing that I can. And this is all going to end up boxed from the frame to basically that cross member that I may also have to cut out or modify for my drive shaft. I don't know yet, but just have to cut this old boxing plate out, because like I said, we're probably gonna bring the new boxing plates maybe up over the frame notch. And I don't know. At this point in time, I'm just rambling, but we are going to address this. I just don't think I'm going to address it today because I'm trying to make progress, and this all has to get blown apart and finalized anyways. We're just on the mock-up stages, so I'm not finalizing anything. Oh, so we got the cross member out of the way, and literally all I did to get this bracket is, like I said, I literally didn't pull any measurements for this. So I'm sure some people are going to talk some shit, and that's okay. But guess what? While you're at home, sitting on the couch, staring at your phone, talking shit, I'm going to be driving my truck. And it may not be perfect, but I'll be out driving my truck while you're on the couch, mad at the internet. But also, it was super simple and it doesn't lost my stuff. I'm talking shit, losing stuff. So I literally got the bars in, and again, I'm losing all this stuff. Alright, much very organized here. And I lined up just this bolt where I wanted it. And then I put that bolt in and tightened it very, very tight, so I can do some hammer dinks and knock this bracket back and forth where I wanted it. Drilled this hole, tightened it, then I could pull the bars out, drill this hole, and here we are. Arm away. There I go. Boom. Again, nothing's welded. Everything is just mocked up. That's currently where we stand with all this. But at this point in time, I'm probably going to pull a couple more measurements to make sure I'm still half-ass square. Again, I adjusted these about halfway out, so I should have plenty of adjustability to get this axle where it actually needs to be. And may, even before I burn these in, I might actually go get me an angle finder from Harbor Freight real quick. Maybe, maybe not. That would prevent me from doing the painter, but I don't know. I'm just brainstorming, guys. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to drive my truck. Ah, shit. Woo! At this point in time, guys, I don't know. I'm like 5 beers deep. 4 beers? I don't fucking know. I can't count anyways. Anyway, both sides are in. Painted bar. I didn't really drag you along because like again, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just making shit happen. But a quick Google search told me that your painted bar, to the best of your ability, should be level. So that's what I did. Bar is level. It is the same distance here as it is here. I got some tack welds. They're a little more than tack welds. But the rear end isn't going anywhere. In theory, not in theory, this thing, you can throw a jack under it and watch it do stuff. This thing officially has a front end and a rear end in it. Get out of here. Here we go, guys. Let's get this thing off the stands. I was talking to my buddy Jesse, and I agree with him, by the way. Suggested maybe I go with a Watts link instead of the painted bar, because obviously as this tilts up, it's going to push the rear end that way, and as it goes down, it's going to push the rear end that way. He had bagged a C10, and I think he said it would move like 2 inches side to side. And again, I agree with him, but you know, I already have this, and I'm not really that smart, nor do I really have the funds for it. But that is a better option. So if that's something and you can totally tell, I'll pull some measurements here in a minute. But let's go ahead and take her on the way up here. She definitely pushes that way. We've got some adjustability. I hope I didn't screw myself by, I've only tacked the painted bar in place here. Oh, we're actually starting to lift the truck up. I also move forward as we go down. So, but I mean, Jesus, I don't think with the tires on we're gonna go quite that low. But let's check out our articulation here. Let's let her drop down. Oh yeah. Yes, sir. Shit, yeah. Shit, yeah. So, I guess probably what I want to do is see if the axle goes up enough, aired out with the tires on, before I hit the C notch. I might have to adjust this back some. So again, this is a trial and error thing, because I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing. So yeah, I'm gonna pull some measurements, see how much it moves like side to side as I air up and down. And I need adapters, because those are actually a Chevy lug pattern rim. So I can't even put the tires on here and see if this thing will air out. Maybe I can. Maybe I can. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're just figuring stuff out as we go along. We're also buzzing, because like I said, we're like 4 or 5 beers deep at this point, so maybe we'll wait another day for that. So, out of curiosity, let's see where we sit. So sitting approximately level. I'm not going to take the effort to throw a level on it. Where are we going to pull our measurement from? We'll just go right here. So, right at the edge of that bar, to me it looks like 2. On the phone, get in there better. It's fucking 2, bro. Here, we'll come up here. It's 2. So as we drop, what's she gonna do? That's all the way down to the ground. Man, 2 1/8, 2 1/4. I'm not gonna cry about that. We're never gonna go high though, not like that. So I guess we'll go up and see what she do. Simple. There we go. So we just hit the notch. Bottomed out on our frame notch. And I'll probably have to pull the measurement off the bottom bar. 2.5? 2.5, so it appears to push this way, up and down. I guess that makes sense. I'll take a 1/2 inch. I'm not gonna sweat about a 1/2 inch. That's alright. Must have done something right. Look at that fucking articulation though. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, we should lay down. We should be laying down. Alright guys, I'm gonna get to wrapping this episode up here real quick. But I do want to show you, we hit a small pickle we're gonna have to do something about. But the truck is all aired out, looking bad as fuck. However, I didn't take into consideration that when the truck lowers, that the axle was going to get pulled forward. When it does that, it comes into contact with the C-notch and prevents the truck from going all the way down. So, I mean, obviously the rods are adjustable. Another gentleman corrected me, Mr. Mouse, you're going to have to look out, buddy, as I had both my rods parallel, and he said that was incorrect. And apparently there's a bunch of know-it-alls on the internet, basically, is what it comes down to. But it does appear that he was correct. Apparently for cruising, which is basically what this thing's gonna do, besides relentless burnouts, parallel is fine. But if you plan on doing any like aggressive driving, you want to angle the top bar down. And what that's gonna do is basically push downward on your tires and provide you with additional traction. So I did lower this bar down to do that. But you see, I got these adjusted out quite a bit, trying to push the axle back. So either we can get longer bars, or the easier free method is going to be to remove these brackets and scoot all this back, which is kind of annoying because then I'm putting an extra holes in my frame. But it is what it is. I think, like I said earlier in the video, I think I'm going to go through here and put like a boxing plate on the back of this anyways. So I think that's how we're going to approach that. Lucky I kind of just tacked everything in because, like I said 1,000 times, I'm new to this, didn't really know what I was doing, was just kind of trying to make it work, make it look decent. And I did weld a little bit more of my panhard bar on than I maybe coulda, woulda, shoulda till I did a full actuation, but I can still burn this off and scoot this back a little bit so it's still parallel with the rear end. But that's where I'm going to wrap this, guys. Wrap this episode up, guys. Is I'm probably going to come out here and not record and just kind of enjoy my time and hang out and do some cutting, grinding, welding, and painting. Because obviously I have to completely weld everything in. Everything's painted. I'm going to scoot these brackets back because I've got, I don't know how much more rod I have in here, but it's not a whole lot. So I think that's how we're going to approach that. We're just going to probably scoot those brackets back probably, what, an inch? Probably do it for us. I think that'd be just fine. The tire isn't quite, yeah, it's touching now. I was shimmying the truck back and forth trying to get the best situation of like actually how it's going to work when I was doing all this. But we'll see. Actually, it looks like the axle is up higher than it needs to be. If you look at my, I might actually be okay. Look at that, because we are too high for our tire here. I might not have to do anything. Hold on. All right, we lowered the axle to be more center-ish with the rim there. Ooh, ooh, we're on the jack. Ooh. Ooh, we damn close. We're still hitting. I wish I had the adapter for the tire. Because we're still a little bit higher than the center of the wheel. And we don't have very much to go down, do we? Man. The guy who wants to do it right in me says to pull those brackets off and move them back like an inch. The guy who likes to drink beer and just enjoy things says just fucking send it. I don't know. I'll let you guys know what I do when I come back. But this video is probably starting to get awful long, and I'm gonna get out of here. We got stuff done.